Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of On a Heater podcast featuring myself, former professional hockey and basketball game photographer Dashing, and my good soon-to-be no longer basketball virgin friend Kiwi. Two idiots, blundering on about sports. But hello, Kiwi. How are you today?
Hey guys, hope everybody's ready to get into sports again this week. There's a lot of news popping in as we approach the football regular season and the hockey preseason.
Mhm.
So make sure you hang on for that, and also make sure you stay tuned all the way to the end because today, Dashing, I'm gonna reveal my selection for my new favorite NBA team.
Oh, boy. Saving the best for the last, I see.
Oh yeah.
Um, but best for last, best for first. We're starting off with some baseball news. A little bit of history happened over in Boston with their game from Toronto that was delayed from June 26th. That was pretty insane. I don't
Yeah,
think I've ever heard that before.
it was so cool. I mean, when I saw the notification come across, I was like, oh, that's going to be kind of cool. And then I thought about it and I went back and I read the article and I'm like, oh my God, this is like pretty freaking awesome.
Right.
So,
Yeah, and I mean take away all of like the changes in the game since then. So like Justin Turner, Danny Jensen going to Boston, Isaiah Kinnear Falifa and Kevin Karameyer from Toronto basically all gone. On the Boston side, they lost Reese McGuire, Emmanuel Valdez, and Don Smith. But just that, hey, Danny Jensen's playing for the Toronto Blue Jays and the Boston Red Sox in the same game.
yeah, it's
Huh?
crazy. I'm just like, what? How is this going to work? And then come to realize, oh, it's a resume of a suspended game.
Hmm.
But for all of these pieces to fall
Yeah.
so that Danny Jensen isn't even has this opportunity to be a historical player
Hmm.
it's just great. And of course, as soon as people started rumbling about the possibility, of course Alex Cora was like, "Oh yeah, we're
Oh,
doing
we're,
it."
we're
Like
doing it.
absolutely.
Yeah, that's happening. But it's really unfortunate he can't record his own out. That
Yeah,
would have been
yeah.
awesome. That would have been awesome if they could pull that off somehow.
Yeah, I
Albeit,
I
I
mean
don't know how you would, but
it's still so cool that he gets to catch or that he caught the at bat that he himself started and
Mhm.
now had to be pinch hit for.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that's
I
so cool.
it's such a unique situation. When you think about it in terms of just like what kind of history is being made in that moment.
Yeah,
When's the next time that's gonna happen? That's gonna be so cool for Danny.
probably as long as it's been since baseball again.
Hmm.
It'll be twice as long from the start of baseball
No
again. So
kidding. So, and I mean, you know, as awesome as it is, like one record breaker to another, Aaron Judge. You know how I feel about him. I know you feel the same way as a
we're
Boston
still
Red Sox
talking
fan.
about him.
Still talking about him weeks later. Here we are. Aaron Judge, 50 plus home runs before September. Dude's a beast.
Yeah, he is just. I mean, it speaks for himself. He speaks for himself. The ball is just jumping off of the bat.
Hmm. A league of his own. I mean, you know,
Absolutely.
you look at his numbers across the board. It's absurd. It's absurd. Like he's hitting so well this season. I mean, I wouldn't argue an MVP is in the case for him.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, he's definitely for sure top three considerations for it. I mean, like the only other person being Shohei Ohtani, who is
Yeah.
also going for a record of his own.
Which we're gonna get to, but actually, you know what? Let's
I mean,
jump on
we
that
might as
right
well
now. We
just
might as well
jump
just
into
jump
it.
onto it
Yeah,
right
I
now.
mean, we've been talking about Judge for weeks
Judge,
now, so we
you
might as well
know,
get on Ohtani here
you
a little
know,
bit.
yeah, I kind of agree. Shohei Ohtani joined the 40-40 club. When you said that to me, I had no idea what that meant.
You had to look it up.
I had to look it
Yeah,
up.
when I first saw it, I was like, "Is that it's 50 home runs and what?" Because I was like,
Yeah,
what's the other 50? And then I read and it was stolen
stolen
bases and
bases.
I was like, that is insane.
So you want to know what I was thinking that it was for some ungodly reason. For some reason, my brain was throwing it to pitching of some kind,
Right.
like batting and pitching, because like I know he's a designated hitter, but he's also a pitcher. So I was like, does it have to do with pitching? But like, how would that work? Because like strikeouts are like he's got so many, and then it's like, is it strikeouts and home runs? Is that the thing?
And you were really confused because he's not even pitching this year
No,
because
no,
he
I
had Tommy
wasn't.
John in the offseason.
Exactly.
So
So I was like, but he's yeah. And then I was like, but he's not
you were
pitching
really
this
throwing
year.
yourself for a loop there.
I was
Yeah.
like, what does that even mean?
So yeah, currently at 41 home runs, 40 stolen bases.
Yep.
So
Yep.
he's got a little bit to go to 50 for both of those. Obviously, the home runs will probably come easier than the stolen bases. But he'll be if he hits the 50-50, he'll be the first player to ever do that. So
Only
that'll be
player.
insane.
I mean, right now he's with Ronald Acuna Jr., Alfonso Soriano, Alex Rodriguez, Jose Canseco, and Barry Bonds. Loaded class, by the way.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Loaded class.
Every single name you knew on there, I was like, oh wow, yeah, okay.
Right, like up and down that list, you look at them and you're like, okay, yeah, okay, yeah.
And I mean,
okay.
say what you want about some of the people on that list having an asterisk next to their name, but it's still very talented regardless. So it's an incredible company to be in with.
No, insane.
And this is
company.
what year 4? How long has Ohtani been in the league now?
I believe Ohtani has been in the league since 2018. He was with the Angels, and then he's now with the Dodgers. So
yeah, 2018. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So 6 years now. This is his 6th season or 7th season. This is his 7th season.
Yeah.
So
and he's only 30. So
yeah, and obviously he's in great health minus the Tommy John surgery.
Minus the Tommy John surgery.
But that should heal by next season, and he'll be back to normal, I would assume. And
yeah. Most pitchers bounce back,
And just like lightly touching into this too, not really wanting to get into it too much because say what you want, but the fact that he had all of that gambling stuff going on and he just like does not care at all and is like, I'm just gonna break records all season. I don't care about all this stuff that happened, So
it's a little interesting because when gambling comes up with players, usually it's like shut down, do nothing, head down. Some people get suspended, some people get like completely cut. This guy got a little stuck there, and then he just went, hey, I'm going to be part of the 40 club now. You guys cool with that? Like, hey, I'm going for the 50-50 club this year. You guys cool with that? Like, hello?
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's just insane. Absolutely insane. Definitely a candidate for MVP there as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And he's not even pitching.
No,
he's just hitting this year.
No, it's just batting, and he's still it's still in the conversation. Insane. He's such a good player. Going from really good player to, this isn't a dig at anybody on the White Sox,
but just really bad players.
Historically bad record. Bad.
Here we are talking about them again too.
Yeah. So they just hit 100 losses in 131 games. They are right now, as of today, August 29th, 31 and 104.
That's just insane.
They've been the fastest to 100 losses since 1916. Think about that. 1916.
I can't even remember who that team was that did that. Like, it's not even a team that's named the same or even exists anymore, I'm pretty sure.
I don't even
know. It's just insane. I mean, I just feel bad for him, honestly, at this point now,
I feel like, in other leagues, you can sort of sympathize, whatever, with the team that's really sucking because they're going to get a really amazing draft pick, probably.
Right.
But I feel like in baseball, it's almost like such a crapshoot sometimes on what you're going to get out of college that it's like, what you got there, bud?
Yeah.
What kind of prospect you getting there, buddy?
So do we think if they continue this horrible record this year, do we think that the MLB swaps them out for the Savannah Bananas?
Probably. I mean, you kind of have to, right? You kind of have to at this point. I mean,
Oh,
the Chicago White Sox, the way they're playing, they'll probably lose to like any top college team. Let's be honest.
all
You
the
know,
AAA
all
teams
the
about it,
Triple
yeah.
A teams.
Yeah.
But
I mean
I
they're
mean,
playing like one, so yeah.
that's true. That's true. I mean, when you look at it in perspective, though, the only real way to win in baseball these days feels like you open the pocketbook. You open up the pocketbook, you open up a check, you write a blank check to some really great players, and you win games. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
It's save those teams that have homegrown talent, which Chicago does not have.
Mm-mm.
You know, save some of those teams. A lot of the bigger teams, a lot of the more popular teams, a lot of the more, better record teams are ones that have doled out the cash, so to speak, to some of these star players. And, Chicago is what it is. I don't know that it's a massive baseball destination to go to. So, probably going to have to pump
Not the
out.
South Side, that's for sure.
Exactly. So probably, I mean, not the Cubs. You know what I mean? Oh, the Cubs are a good place, but the White Sox, come on. It's
At
like
least you got the history with the Cubs.
exactly. It's
So
like
you
it's
know
like
you have
talking
that with
about
the White
like
Sox.
the Lakers and the Clippers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So
It's like choosing between the Jets and the Giants
yeah,
or the Patriots, like
yeah, yeah,
obviously you're gonna want to go play for the Patriots rather than the Jets or the Giants.
yeah.
I'd go play for the Giants before I went for the Jets though. Gee
Honestly,
whiz.
right now I'd choose the Giants myself as well. But we're not talking about football just yet.
True. Not yet. I'm rushing. I'm getting ahead of
You're
myself.
getting ahead of yourself. But yeah, no, it's just like it's so gross. Like feeling, watching the White Sox. Like I haven't actually personally watched any White Sox games this year, save like maybe when they played the Red Sox every now and again.
Right.
But just looking at it, I just feel so bad. I think I sent you like a meme earlier when I was like, "Oh, Chicago White
Yeah.
Sox game attendance 17."
So that's actually a real picture.
Yeah,
It was a makeup game from a delayed game that they had against I want to say the Rangers. I
yeah,
think that yeah, the Rangers, I
yeah.
think. That was actually how many people were there.
It's
It must have been like
insane.
an early morning or something, and like, they're already
Right,
dwindling on fans this year anyways.
right.
They cut their ticket prices in half this year, I'm pretty sure too. They're like you can go get like a nice seat for like $30.
Oh my
Like
god.
it's terrible.
So you want to go to a
It's
White Sox
terrible.
game?
No, literally. I'm gonna be in Chicago, but not at the right time to go see one. So,
Yeah.
oh, jeez,
Yikes.
that's just atrocious. But and a little bit of just a slight little niche update here
Hmm.
from last week, talking about Joey Votto. He had a pretty funny quote uh, this past week. He
Yeah.
was going to the stadium to watch the Blue Jays play, and the driver asked him if he was a player, and he said no. So it's kind of sad, but it gave me a little bit of chuckle just because he's having
Well,
fun with it. So
he's chuckling about it. I
yeah,
I think it's always kind of funny when people, they're in a car with a celebrity and they have no idea, or
no
like a
idea who they are.
a
Yeah,
professional player of
exactly.
some kind.
Like
It's
if
like
I mean, and to be honest, if I was like an Uber driver or whatever, and
right.
Joey Votto got in my car, I don't know if I would
Wouldn't
recognize
know
him right
either.
off the bat either.
Yeah,
But at the same time, like if Aaron Judge got into my car
I
or
would know.
Shohei Otana,
Yeah,
Otani, I would know who they are.
yeah,
There's
exactly.
so yeah. I
Well,
mean, yeah,
it's true though, right? Because like when you talk about superstars and you talk about faces of sports, faces of teams, whatever, you know people know them, right?
right,
If say like Tom Brady got in your car, you're gonna know that's Tom freaking Brady. But like name a low ball player, of some kind, like a lineman or defensive back or some kind, and like they get in the car. It's like, you know who that is?
right.
Probably not. I mean, it's just like star pitcher. You're gonna know Justin Verlander, but like you said, Voto, probably not. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
right. Exactly. Exactly. I'd be screwed if a basketball player got in my car. I'll
Yeah,
tell you
no.
that
I
much.
mean, I
I
would
know
know.
about four.
If any of the Celtics got in the car, I would know them for sure. But
I would know Jason Tatum. That's about it.
yeah, Jason.
I think that's about it.
Yeah. No,
Oh
that's
my
fair.
gosh.
That's fair. Shifting gears a little bit though.
Now getting into the football.
Now getting into the football. Humphreys, Kansas City Chiefs, highest paid center, 4 years, 72 million. What do you thought?
Yeah. I mean, obviously his talent showed all last season. He's very, very, very good.
It's a big
Very
boy.
athletic. Very, yeah.
Big boy.
Yeah, big guy. Definitely who you want protecting basically the quarterback face of the NFL, you know?
Yeah.
So, definitely not, um,
not skimping out on money.
Definitely well deserved.
Yeah,
basically.
You know,
so
4 years in the league, he stands 6'4", he weighs 302. He is out of Oklahoma. He's 25 years old. So I mean, $72 million contract at 25 years old. Sign me up, buddy. You know, you know, and I mean, he's playing on a tough team right now with you know their wide receiver depth issues that they're having. So I mean, he's gonna be getting his money's worth, getting their money's worth out of Humphrey this year with the protection on Mahomes.
Definitely
that he's gonna
be
need.
giving him some time to throw to whoever they even have left.
No, exactly.
Speaking of contracts, though, another one follow up from last week, actually.
A big one.
CeeDee Lamb finally signed.
Yeah, 4 years. $136 million. I think I saw somewhere that after taxes, he's making like $18 million a year or something like that.
That's insane.
That's absurd. That's insane. Second highest player all time paid.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that slots him in right between Tyreek Hill and Amon-Ra St. Brown, which is basically where we had him.
That's exactly where we had him.
Because Tyreek is 140 something, I think, and Amon-Ra's 120 something.
Yeah.
So yeah, literally right in between them.
Right where we thought he would be. And I mean, isn't that just hilarious that right after Jerry Jones comes out, puts his big foot in his own mouth, turns around and opens the pocketbook? It was almost like let's talk shit, and then he walked into those negotiations and went, "I'm sorry."
It's almost like he came out and he was like, "Hey, I want everybody to look at the Cowboys for a second.
Yeah.
All right, here's our contract. All right, now you guys can move back to the rest of the league.
Right. Yeah.
Here's the attention on us. Make sure we have it." So, I mean, yeah, definitely. I mean, we knew it was going to be right in there somewhere. He's very talented, so I'm not surprised at all.
Now he's just got to go out there and earn it. I mean, I have my own reservations about Dak Prescott, but like, you know, now that he's got his guy, his wide receiver one with CeeDee Lamb's got to go out there and he's got to produce. Because if he does not go out there and he does not produce this year, that's a bad sign.
And honestly, I'd prefer if he didn't, because I hate the Cowboys, but that's just me. So,
see, I don't hate the Cowboys, but I don't like them either. So
I'll start beef with any Cowboys fan. Trust me.
There you go. Yeah, hit us up on Twitter if you want to start beef with Kiwi about Cowboys.
Yeah, I'll be in there. I'll be in the replies
at On a Heater Pod.
yeah, no kidding.
Oh my god. So yeah, speaking of you know, really good, not players, but now coaches, Bill Belichick does not have a coaching job this year, but if he does not coach ever again, he's going to be eligible for the NFL Hall of Fame as of 2026. So that's mind-blowing in of itself. I think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, but that's insane.
I don't see him. He's definitely, yeah, I would say definitely first ballot.
Yeah.
I mean, unless there's like, I don't even know who would still be on there that would be better than him that, you know, would beat him out
for 2026. You know? Yeah, no, I don't know.
Right. So, because I'm pretty sure like all of the greats are already in there, you know. So it's got to be him. Yeah, he's also doing some other interesting stuff in his time where he's not coaching as well.
Yeah, in the shock that was that he didn't get a job as a head coach in the NFL, you know, chasing that coaching record, you know, got a job at ESPN. That's pretty cool. He's going to be on the Manning cast for every Monday Night Football game for the first half with Eli and Peyton, and you gotta know that he's just sitting there staring daggers at Eli the whole time.
Oh my god, yeah.
He's also going to.
It's gonna be ice cold in that room.
Oh my god, for sure. He's also going to be on the Pat McAfee show every Monday, talking about the games of the week. He's also going to be hosting a show called The Breakdown with Peyton Manning, in which they will be hosting this 30-minute talk show about Monday Night Football. It's going to have game film. They're going to talk about the X's and O's of the game. That's going to be so cool.
Yeah, so obviously two legends going at it, just talking about the game. 3 legends on the podcast, just talking about it, going on about the game. So that'll be definitely interesting. I'm sure there'll be clips and stuff all over Twitter and TikTok and whatnot. So,
and not to stir the pot or anything, but isn't this just so funny that he's gonna do all of these shows with Peyton and Eli and not Tom Brady?
Yeah, right. Okay. Like they went to 2 opposite ends of the sports talk world.
Yeah. Like Brady's doing his stuff on Fox now, and then Belichick's now doing all this stuff with ESPN with Peyton and Eli.
The drama between them just cracks me up.
My God, it never ends. It never ends.
Speaking of a little drama and veering from our schedule here, did you see their 2 more starting quarterbacks were selected this week?
I did see that. Jacoby Brissett.
I know you saw one for sure, yeah.
Jacoby Brissett for the Patriots. Who was the other one?
The other one actually was Russell Wilson.
Oh, I did see that one
for
as
the
well.
Steelers.
Did see that one as well. That one's not as surprising, though. That one's not as surprising.
Honestly, that one's more surprising to me.
Well, I mean, I guess so, in a sense that Russell's kind of old at this point, and the Steelers are kind of taking a flyer on him.
If him and Fields were like
neck and neck,
that bad neck to neck,
I feel like
I'm surprised they didn't go for the youth and someone who still has room to improve, but
I feel like they kind of went for Wilson because of his veterancy. I think that if things go poorly in Pittsburgh, we're going to see Justin Fields.
They won't hesitate to. Yeah, they won't hesitate to pull Wilson. And honestly, I could probably see the same situation in New England if Brissett just isn't performing. They won't hesitate, and they'll just throw Drake May out there.
I think so, or even Milton. They got. Yeah. I'm thinking they're going to hold on to all 3. I think they already did hold on to all 3 quarterbacks. They cut Bailey Zappi, which wasn't a surprise to me, but with the Patriots, I feel like they are definitely going to not hesitate, especially because it's Gerard Mayo's first year, which is probably why they went with Jacoby Brissett, because he's the most tenured guy, so they give him the best chance to succeed. Not saying Drake May is bad or even Joe Milton, but
it's hard to come in as a first-year coach with a brand new rookie quarterback.
Exactly.
And,
So I think that's why they went with Brissett.
But yeah, so sorry, I had to kick that little side note in.
No, all good. Speaking of side notes, we wanted to, because the NFL week 1 starts literally, not next week, the week after. We wanted to do some early predictions this week. Division winners, improved regress teams, early extreme Super Bowl picks.
It does start next Thursday, does it not?
Yeah, next Thursday. Does that?
It's either, I don't know if they start on the Sunday or the Thursday.
I think they start on the Thursday. The Ravens and the Chiefs on September 5th.
Right.
Yeah.
I think there's no Saturday games this week. Though, right? It's like Super Sunday games where there's like a
Thursday, catch them all. And then Friday's Packers Eagles.
That's right. There's the Packers game. That's right.
Packers,
instead of a Saturday game, there's a Friday game. That's right.
And then Sunday is going to be balls to the wall, and then Monday Night Football is the Jets and 49ers. So,
we figured it was good as time as ever to get our early predictions and picks for the season out there. So
we're just gonna name the division winners. We're not gonna go record by record for teams. I think that would be a longer conversation. So let's just start it off. AFC East. I got the Miami Dolphins.
Oh, in the East. Oh, the Dolphins. All right. I'm gonna probably also go with the Dolphins. I know that's just what everybody wanted to hear, but who's Josh Allen gonna throw the ball to this year? I think that's the Bills' biggest struggle is that they really don't have that number one receiver
Mm-hmm.
to to give Josh Allen a outlet. So it's going to be a lot of run game from them this year. And then the Jets, who knows if Aaron Rodgers is going to make it past the first 5 minutes of the first game. So especially taking no preseason reps and who knows how many practice outings.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then obviously the Patriots they aren't gonna improve that much. They will improve, but not that much. So.
After the Brissett announcement, I actually came out and said we are going to be contending for the first overall pick.
Oh wow! All right. Well, there you go. There's your on the heater take for the day. Whoa! All right.
Nothing
I don't
against
think they'll be that.
nothing against Jacoby Brissett, but I don't have much faith.
Oh, good grief! All right, AFC North.
I'm sorry. Who did you have for the AFC?
I also had
Dolphins?
the Dolphins.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
AFC North. I'm going to take the Bengals.
Bengals. Interesting. Joe Cool's got his American Nightmare haircut going on right now, and I saw that and I was like, man, he's gonna be fucking cold this year, isn't he?
He's gonna be ice cold this year, and it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be great for the Bengals fans to just finally have that season.
I mean, they had the 1 year where they went to the Super Bowl, and I really thought that they were going to be perennially just there with Joe Cool at quarterback, and then they just weren't that again, like ever again.
I think,
and I think even with American Nightmare Joe Cool, I'm going Baltimore Ravens.
Still Baltimore.
Baltimore Ravens.
I mean, it's hard to discount Lamar and what they've done in Baltimore. So I can, yeah.
It absolutely is. Going to the South, not so much a surprise, but I think that they're going to be really, really underratedly good because I don't hear them being talked about a lot. Houston Texans.
I mean, yeah, they've only added this offseason.
They've gotten
traded some minor pieces away,
good,
but added power. So
yeah,
I mean, honestly, that's probably my pick too. I don't even know where to go outside of that. It's not going to be the Titans, and the Colts and the Jags are just too inconsistent.
Yeah, no, they're either like an insane year for them, or it's nothing,
or they're injuries. Or they're in this hospital team the whole season,
No, yeah.
So, yeah, I'm in on the Texans too this year. I think.
Okay.
I don't think they really have that much contest. Somebody will give them their run for their money, but switching to the West.
Okay.
It's really hard to say anybody other than the Chiefs, but. Here's my on the heater take.
Okay, I'm ready.
I'm going with the Chargers.
Really?
I think the Chargers can do it this year.
Care to extrapolate a little there?
I don't think it's anything less than a tied record with a tiebreaker winner for the division title.
Interesting.
But Denver's going to suck again.
I think Denver's going to be bad. I think even with
Vegas is going to suck again.
Yeah.
Because they have nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Because who do they have? Josh Jacobs? Does he even play there anymore?
Josh Jacobs, and they have Devontae Adams. They also have Jacoby Myers. I think they still got him.
But I mean, that's 3 people out of 53. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
It's But the Chargers, they got a great quarterback. They have a new coach.
Mm-hmm.
They finally have gotten rid of, oh my gosh, what's his face? Mr. I think I should be paid millions of dollars.
Austin Eckler?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. They finally gotten rid of Austin Eckler.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a turnaround season for them. Finally.
My drop-off point is that their number one target is Josh Palmer.
Yeah, I mean their receiver room isn't very great, but also at the
Yeah.
same time, neither is Kansas City's. So
Well, okay, Kansas City's got the hospice club right now.
yeah,
The
jailbirds in the hospice club. Yeah.
so
So
it's a hot take I think either way, but I mean Patrick Mahomes, man. It's
I
Patrick
don't know, dude.
Mahomes, man.
Justin Herbert, dude.
Justin Herbert is really damn good.
He's very good. And he's due for a breakout year too.
I'm going to be so hot take right now for you, all right? You
Oh
ready?
boy. All right, I'm ready. I'm so ready.
Denver Broncos. Let me
You
tell you
think the
why.
Broncos are gonna take it?
Let me tell you why.
I'm speechless.
This is I'm not saying this to be like, "Oh my god, what the hell?" I'm saying this because they're setting up. They're setting up. They got a pretty decent roster. They got, I know Bo Nix is young. Don't get me wrong. Jared Stidham is not the answer. We all know Zach Wilson is not the answer.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, you go up and down their roster, like, Cortland Sutton, Josh Reynolds, Marvin Mims Jr., like, their wide receivers aren't the worst in the world. Their running backs aren't the worst in the world. Their defense is pretty decent. And with their head coach, Sean Payton is no slouch. Like, last year, he had Russell Wilson, who
Well, yeah, what
is
was he gonna do with that?
fallen off. He's fallen off, let's be real. So I think with a young quarterback like Bo Nix, who he was a pretty good college player, I wouldn't be surprised with the depleted Chiefs, Gardner Minshew leading the Raiders. Come on. And, a pretty depleted Chargers team. We can see the Broncos sneak one out there.
Honestly, okay, I see where you're coming from. They're definitely a very under the radar team that should be watched. I don't think they win the division though. I think they're definitely fighting for a wild card spot.
Yeah, everything in me tells me that they're going to be a wild card team, but my on a heater hot take is that they're going to win the division.
All right, well, I guess we'll see how that one holds up. Both of us did not pick the Chiefs. Now, is that because we hate the Chiefs, or is that because we truly think these other teams can do it?
I mean, every season I feel like everybody's out there saying, "Oh, the Chargers, it's their year. Oh, the Raiders, it's their year," and the Chiefs just do it anyway.
I'm just not confident in the Chiefs' wide receiver room.
I'm not.
I'm just not confident.
I'm not.
Because really, it's not
Patrick
even there.
Mahomes can't pass to himself. He can't. At the end of the day, he can't.
If anybody could do it, it would be him, though.
That's probably true. I mean, Marcus Mariota did it one time, so take that as you will.
That's a name I haven't heard in a minute.
Anyway,
moving to the NFC.
NFC East. It's hard to not say the Eagles, right? Because they're just going to be up there. But I'm honestly, I mean, the Cowboys won it last year, right? I'm pretty sure. I'm kind of torn. Eagles, Cowboys. I think I'm going to go with Cowboys. I think that, as much as I don't like Dak Prescott, the signing of CeeDee Lamb and their defense, I think they're going to do some work. I think they're going to do real work.
So I'm of the opinion this is the second most competitive division this year.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
The Cowboys obviously will be strong in the regular season like they have been, and then flop in the playoffs.
Yeah.
The Eagles will be very mid through the first half of the season and then turn it on and then fail somewhere halfway through the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in on the Commanders this season.
Really?
I'm in on the Commanders.
Really?
I think they're going to take it. I think that they split with the Cowboys. I think they sweep the Giants, and I can see them sweeping the Eagles too, honestly.
Interesting.
I think the Commanders take the division this year, and it's about freaking time for them too.
The Washington Commanders haven't really done anything, I feel like, since...
They haven't done RG3.
I was about to say RG3, yeah. Kirk Cousins era.
Yeah, they haven't done anything since then.
Which has been insane. I mean, who's their quarterback?
Jalen Daniels.
Jaden Daniels. Yeah. So, I mean, they got a nice young quarterback. They got a pretty decent...
They've added some weapons in
the
off-season
I mean,
too.
As much as we bag on Austin Eckler, he's a great running back.
Yes,
So
but
I
God don't pass him the ball because he's
yeah,
oh God, he's such a
he's
ball hog. That's
he
his
is.
problem.
But he is a very good running back, and having him in the backfield for Jaden Daniels is going to be insane. And I mean, they also got Jamison Crowder, Luke McCaffrey, Terry McLaurin. Like, their wide receivers are no slouches, and they also got
You're
Zach
better than
Ertz.
Kansas City.
They got Zach Ertz and John Bates at tight end too. So it's like,
And obviously, we all know how talented Zach Ertz is. So
yeah. So honestly, I might give you that one. That one, that's a good pick. That's like a
I
really good
think,
pick.
and they might have the strongest defense in that division too.
Probably right now. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, other than like, the Eagles, they added Saquon Barkley, which is a great pickup at running back. But, I just don't have faith in Hurts. I'm sorry. Like, as much as I don't like the Philadelphia Eagles, I just don't have faith in Jalen Hurts.
I think he's too inconsistent. He's
Yeah.
definitely talented, don't get me wrong, but he's
Mhm.
he's just too inconsistent.
But yeah, so moving on to your favorite division, the NFC North. Who you got?
My favorite slash least favorite, I guess you could say. And this is the most competitive division
Oh
this year.
boy, yeah.
This is definitely the most competitive division. Anybody in this is a contender, except for maybe one of the teams is gonna. It's not gonna do so hot.
I think we all
But
know who that one is.
yeah, the Vikings.
Thank you.
As much as I want to sit here and say that Caleb Williams is the Messiah and he's going to take us to a Super Bowl in his first year, I have to be realistic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking the Lions.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
they have lost minimal this offseason. They have added more.
Mm-hmm.
They have Jared Goff and like 3 other people locked up for
fucking
good term
ever,
and for a lot of money.
Yeah.
Who all, I mean, just went crazy. And say what you want, but they should have beat the 49ers in that.
They should
in that conference game.
And
they should have beat them.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm also taking the Lions. I don't want to give away my Super Bowl prediction right now, but
yeah, I mean, we can get into that in a minute here. We can get into that in a minute here.
We got.
I have a feeling our Super Bowl predictions are going to look pretty similar.
Pretty similar. But keeping on with these divisions real quick.
Right. So moving to the South, this is probably a lot more clear cut.
I'm not gonna lie to you. So, little known fact about me: my favorite player in the league right now is Kirk Cousins. So, Atlanta Falcons, baby. You like that?
I don't think the Falcons do it, but they're definitely playoff talks for sure. I mean, I think they've been going crazy this offseason with loading up.
Yeah, for sure.
And with 2 teams that are bottom of the barrel in their division, their biggest competition is my pick, which is Tampa Bay.
Yeah, the Bucks. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. Sitting between the Falcons and the Bucks, I feel like the Falcons added a lot. The Buccaneers, it felt like they kind of rode the line a little bit. Signing back a lot of their performers. But I'm not gonna lie, I don't think that's enough when you have a guy like Kirk Cousins that you add to the division, because I just think Kirk is so damn good. He's so consistent. Everybody wants to call him a choker on primetime. Fine. But you cannot deny his skill level, his compassion for the game, his IQ level for the game is just so good. And I think he's going to do wonders for that Falcons offense that they haven't had in a while.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Falcons haven't been good since freaking
the Super Bowl year, 28-3. Really?
Do you even want to call them good for that?
Well, that year they were pretty damn good. Even the first 3 quarters of that football game, they were pretty damn good.
But I mean, they haven't really been that great since Matt was there. So
right? Yeah, Matty Ice. Yeah, for sure.
So. And then rounding it out with the West, this division's going to be interesting. I feel like this division's always interesting because there's always such high hopes for all of the teams, and then they all kind of just suck except for one
Well,
of them
I'm
recently.
I'm gonna I'm gonna write off one of the teams right now with Arizona. I'm not taking the they're not doing anything for me. Kyler Murray is just not good enough for me. He is too inconsistent. Their team feels just weird. It just doesn't feel right there. Seattle Seahawks, I think that's another team that I'm gonna write off. I think that they're gonna be decent. I think that there's a chance that they could sneak into a wild card slot, but I don't think that they can win a division when you have the 49ers who are just that damn good. And
Right.
you also have the LA Rams who are pretty usually decent. They're actually
Consistent.
consistent across the board. And I mean, like Sean McVay is still there and he's still coaching that team. But my pick, honestly, it's the 49ers.
Yeah, and I think that's probably going to have to be mine too. I mean, the Seattle's kind of in that rebuild, retool phase where they're kind of moving on from the Russell dynasty,
Mm-hmm.
starting a new dynasty, still kind of in that transition period. Um, Arizona, obviously, Kyler Murray sizzled out so early in his career, and it's so sad to see because really I think a lot of people thought that they were going to be good for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's hard to bet against the consistency of the Rams and Matt Stafford. Um, but you know what? I'm gonna take the Rams.
Interesting.
I
Okay.
think that Matt Stafford is the better quarterback.
Okay.
I think that 49ers might have a little bit more depth, but I think when it comes down to it, Stafford will carry them like he has done.
Which,
I
I
mean,
mean,
he's got a freaking Super Bowl ring with him. He went to the playoffs this year with them and lost to his freaking former team in their stadium. You know how hard it is to play under those conditions?
mm-hmm.
So, and the fact that he made it close,
Yeah. No.
I gotta take
Eh,
Stafford and the Rams.
Stafford and
I
the
was gonna
Rams.
go the 49ers, but I really just
That's not a bad pick. That's not a bad pick.
yeah. Yeah. That's where I'm settling. I'm settling on the Rams.
So take that as you will, everybody listening. Those are our too early to tell. Sort of. Well, not too early to tell because the preseason is coming to end. But a little bit too early to tell. Division winners. We will revisit this maybe halfway through the season, and then we'll fully revisit this at the end of the season. We'll compare and contrast notes on who actually won, who is going to win. And so on and so forth. But first, before we get to the Super Bowl stuff, improved teams, regressed teams. Looking at last year's records to this year's records, who to you, Kiwi, is going to be the most improved team?
I mean, the answer's pretty obvious, right? It's going to be the Bears. From coming from a team that has performed poorly since basically Jay Cutler, if not
Mm-hmm.
before. It's just we've had what 2 good seasons in there. One season we won the division with Trubisky, and that was it. And I don't. And actually, that wasn't even him, to be honest. That was oh my god, whatever our backup is.
Mm-hmm.
What's his face? He used to throw for the Eagles. I can't even think. Why can I not think of his name? Oh, this is so embarrassing. Help me.
No. No, but it's okay. I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh. All right. I'm going to help myself then. Give
Yeah,
me a
yeah,
second
yeah.
here. This is going to drive me freaking crazy.
Yeah, no, I can't even think of who you're talking about.
Why can I not think of his name?
Yeah, it's like right there. This is the on a heater brain power that you all came for. I
Oh
know
my
it.
gosh. uh,
But I
this
mean,
is going to drive me crazy.
talking about the Bears though, I think that they are going to be an insane team.
Nick Foles. Oh
Nick,
my God. Nick Foles.
Big Dig Nick. Yeah,
All
yeah,
right. That
yeah.
was hurting me.
If you just said like Big Dick, I would have known.
Yeah. Well, if I would have said that, then I would have known. So
yeah. But like a team like the Bears though, I think that they're going to be a really good team this year. I think you are probably closer But maybe not close enough to as my pick. The Washington Commanders. You had them winning the division.
Hey, I
But
did.
they were sitting at what, like 4-12 or something last year, some low number
Something
like that. It was
atrocious.
really bad, really really bad. But I think they're going to be damn good this year. I don't think close enough to win their division,
4-13. Yeah.
but I think we're going to see a wild card slot at the very least, which going from bottom of the league, top draft picks to playoff contention, that seems like improvement to me.
The only other team I would say to keep your eye on between these two teams, aside from these two teams, is the Chargers.
Yeah, I can see the Chargers
They
making a
went
big
5
jump.
and 12 last year, and I think they got a healthy team
Hmm.
with a new coach. I think
I think they're going to be
definitely will
very, very good as well.
team to keep your eye on as well there. Um, but most regressed. Who do you think comes in worse than last year,
This
Dashing?
so we are the On a Heater podcast. We heat this bitch up like no tomorrow. Kansas City Chiefs, baby.
What?
Most regress. Super Bowls, 2 loser bowls.
That's insane.
I'm gonna go so far as to say I think that they either slide in at the wild card or they don't even make the playoffs this year. That wide receiver
Jeez.
room is so okay. I know when we're talking about the AFC West, I was saying it's really hard to not pick them as the division winners. But if we're talking about regression and we're talking about, teams that have regressed, that team is so depleted. They signed their center, great for them. Good job. They got a really good protector for Patrick Mahomes. They need it, but that doesn't, stack up for the rest of their line, which is
Still don't have anybody to
body.
throw the ball
He
to.
still doesn't have anybody to throw the ball to. And, last season we saw that on full display with them dropping literally everything, but somehow still winning football games. But, I think that still stands up to say that this is going to be a tough year for the Chiefs. And I think that it's going to be extra tough.
So well, I don't entirely agree with your decision. I can understand why you're saying so. My pick is also a team that does not have a wide receiver room, and that
Okay.
is the Buffalo Bills.
Interesting. That's not a bad pick.
I going from 11-6 last year, I can definitely see them probably even finishing the inverse of that.
Really? You think they're going to be that bad?
They're going to be pretty mid.
I'm not going to lie to you. I think that we're probably going to see a coaching vacancy in Buffalo by the end of the season.
I would not be surprised.
I think we're going to see one in Buffalo.
I would not be surprised to maybe see some mid-season movement too, as well.
If
coming
they,
out of them and maybe Kansas City as
well, maybe not Kansas City with coaching, but maybe trades in
well. Oh,
Kansas
no,
City.
I mean player-wise.
Yeah. But Buffalo, I could see them making a coaching change halfway through the year too. If they start real slow, if they start out with a losing record of some kind, like they come out and they put up a stinker against like the
They're
Patriots,
gonna have to light some fire under somebody's ass here. So
yeah, no, they're gonna need to do a lot of work and very quickly if they want to keep any semblance of their jobs.
oh yeah, definitely.
Interesting regression picks, interesting improvement picks. Getting over to the Super Bowl.
The big money that everybody is waiting for.
Big money, no whammies. Too early to tell Super Bowl picks. Lay it on me. Who you got?
I have, for the NFC, big surprise, the Detroit Lions. We kind of teased that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I will see them matched up against the Houston Texans.
Ooh.
Which I think is a Super Bowl that out of the country will actually like to watch for once.
That is an interesting one. Honestly, I really like that. My
I went
Super
back
Bowl
and forth
pick.
between the Texans and the Bengals, but I eventually settled on the Texans.
So it's really funny that you say that because
No way. No way.
yes way. Lions and Bengals.
There it is.
That's
Wow,
mine.
I'm glad I chose the Texans just to keep a little
Yeah, no,
variety.
let's keep a little variety so we don't, pick the same thing and feel like we're copying each other's thoughts here. It's
Right?
all our viewers are sitting at home or listening in the cars like, where's the variety? Where's the discussion?
Right.
Where's
Right. They're already
the
screaming
arguments?
about the our NFC picks being the same for
Yeah,
the Lions,
for
but realistically, there's not that many. The 49ers fans are punching the air right now.
well, I
So are the
mean,
Cowboys fans.
yeah. I mean, we've been bagging on them pretty hard today, so
Can you tell that we don't like your teams, guys?
yeah, we don't like your out of market teams, or out of market for us teams. Sorry, not sorry. That's why it's
Not
called the
sorry.
On a Heater podcast. If you want to yell at us, I'll say it again at On a Heater Pod
Oh
on
yeah, we'll be
X.
glad to respond to your tweets. Glad.
Yes, absolutely, we will. But yeah, no, those I think those picks are pretty solid. I think we're pretty lockstep that the Lions are going to be damn good in the NFC. I think they're going to
Oh
run.
yeah.
I think they're going to run the NFC this year. Bengals and Texans, I think, are interchangeable. I did not take the Bengals to win their own division. I picked the Ravens. I think the Bengals are good enough to go from wild card to Super Bowl. I
Oh
don't think they
definitely.
need home field advantage. I don't. Would that work for them? Yeah, they could use it, but I think that's
Yeah, I mean, Cincy's one of the loudest stadiums in the country whenever the
exactly
Bengals are rolling. So
the only
I think that
reason that
it could definitely help them, but they
yeah
don't need it.
the only reason that I have the Ravens winning their division is because they're always so damn good in the regular season. They're always so hard to beat that was my reasoning for that. But I think the Bengals could win it. I think for sure. Yeah, American Nightmare Joe Cool. Yeah, I think he can do it.
Joe Ice Cold.
Yeah. So yeah, division winners. We got improve, regress. We got too early to tell Super Bowl predictions. We'll revisit all of that stuff as the playoffs roll around, midseason rolls around. Maybe we'll do like a midseason revamp of who we think's got what.
Our
On lock.
mid-season, yeah,
Midseason
refresh.
thoughts. So stay tuned for that. I mean, hell, we could even talk about it on a live at some point, YouTube live or even on our
Oh,
Twitches
definitely.
and stuff like that. But shifting gears a little bit to get to hockey, Askarov on the move.
Yes, and Nashville delivered.
Nashville delivered. Askarov, Burke, and a third for Edstrom, Krona, and a first. Vegas Golden Knights top 10 protected. What are your thoughts on that deal?
Yeah, so I think this is good both ways. Nashville's kind of shedding some weight that obviously didn't want to be there, while still picking up some quality players. And the Corona add-on of the goalie there, that's kind of just more like the one for one.
Yeah.
Nashville has an amazing goalie farm system, so they don't really necessarily need him, but I could foresee him getting some different coaching styles and whatever, and being a pivotal player for them in the future.
Nice little pickup.
And they get a first round out of it,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's always good. San Jose picking up this amazing talent of a goalie, just to add to this incredible team that they've been building. Like, I keep your eyes on San Jose this season.
And not for nothing, they signed him to a 2-year, $4 million contract. That's a steal, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's a steal.
I mean, yeah, that's crazy. That I believe that gets him to. I think it's a bridge contract to UFA as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be fantastic for San Jose, because then if he does well, they're going to sign him, and he's going to be making a lot of money.
Oh yeah, he's going to get a big contract if he proves himself, which I think he does. I think he really does.
He's just adding so much to that locker room too. If San Jose is not great this year, it would not surprise me, because of all of this young blood and conflicting personalities that are going to come in that still need time to mesh. But they are pulling themselves out of this rebuild
Oh,
fast.
yeah, they are. No, for sure.
Fast.
Um,
Eh,
yeah, no, it absolutely insane. For Askarov and the Sharks, I think that's a great move for them. I think Nashville, they got what they needed from that.
yeah.
But in another trade news, the Jets and Penguins also made a move. They are trading high end prospects. Rutger McGrody from the Jets traded to Pittsburgh in exchange for forward Braden Yeager.
So yeah, so we kind of actually, I think we skipped this one last week. It came out
hmm
before we recorded, but
just I think it's just
um
like right under the line of when we
yeah,
started.
basically like the morning before we recorded or the night before we recorded, something like that. So
Shout out to all my
uh
Attack on Titan fans.
right, no kidding. Yeah. I had originally thought about talking about it, but at the same time, I'm gonna be honest, I don't care.
Two young, I mean, hey, two young guys, 20 years old, 19 years old. It's a high end prospect trade. I don't particularly care either about the Jets or the Penguins moving guys, but two young high end prospects, I feel like that's,
I mean, that's good, but
future considerations. I think that those are going to be some good guys to look out for.
there's just when there's no NHL games to go off of and it's just a
Right.
prospect for prospect trade, it's very
It's
hard to
hard to
comment about.
tell. It's hard to tell.
Obviously, the Nashville San Jose trade is a little bit of more of a blockbuster
Oh,
trade. There's a little more
absolutely.
depth to it.
Well, that's why I
Um,
led instead of
right, right.
Jets
This one is just
and
like, hey,
Penguins. This happened,
we
yeah.
think they're going to be a better fit in in each other's teams.
hmm
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. Keeping in with young guys, Burns in the Blues signed 3-year entry level deal defense. You guys added a nice piece.
Yeah, so we got another young defenseman coming up for us. We are
19,
stacking up.
19
I
years
mean,
old out of the Kingston Frontenacs, I think it's called.
yeah,
The OHL team. He's a young guy. They got him for, entry level deal. Obviously, that's what you're going to get when you sign a guy like that.
right.
Locking him up for 3 years on that defense, I think he's going to be a nice little piece for you.
Yeah, and I mean, if he isn't, it's no sweat off our backs.
Not
So
really, yeah.
I think Doug Armstrong's been making a ton of moves this year, and just like San Jose, I think people should definitely keep their eye on the Blues. Not just because I'm such a big Blues fan, but because I think they're going to be competitive in a Western Conference that is already going to be so competitive.
Already
Like the
stacked
West is
up.
going to be amazing to watch this year.
Stacked up to hell.
Um,
Contract
and
signings. Not to jump around too
oh,
much here, but contract signings. Keanu Reeves.
I love whenever celebrities sign their little contracts, you know.
One
So
day.
Keanu Reeves signing a one day with the Windsor Spitfire. So
hmm
just a cool little note. That I
Yeah.
forget that he's from Canada.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
Um,
because he's always over on the U.S. side, right?
right,
Hollywood and
right.
stuff
So
like
yeah,
that.
I forget that he's actually Canadian. So it makes sense that he's such a big hockey fan. But I
Mhm.
didn't realize until this news came out. I was like, oh, that's super cool. I didn't realize how big of a hockey fan Keanu Reeves was. So
Yeah, and I
that's
mean, this was
pretty
for
cool.
charity. The Canadian Mental Health Association, Windsor Essex branch. He signed the contract to do some charity, sign some merch, sell it off for charity, which is always a great thing. Keanu Reeves actually grew up in Toronto, which I had no idea that's where he grew up. Um, so like
Yeah,
that's really cool that he did that. That's awesome that
yeah.
that he signed that contract. He's such a great guy. Like anytime people talk about Keanu Reeves, it's always like how awesome of a person he is.
He definitely has the very much the same mentality as like a Eminem too, where when it comes to being out in the public, he's very
hmm
careful about where if he's touching people, if he's taking
Right,
pictures, his image. He's very careful with that, wanting to very much portray that he's not a sleaze bag,
right,
basically.
right.
And that's what makes him so great. He's just a nice kind, genuine person. So it's
Yeah.
cool to see him sign in a contract with a CHL team like this. But
Hmm.
moving over to the A, actually, um, the A this week passed a mandate that all of their players are now going to be required for cut resistant neck guards.
Interesting. I mean, honestly, I like that. I mean, protection for players, always a freaking amazing thing. I think that, you're skating around on the ice, sharp blades,
Yeah.
it's happened a
Yeah.
few times.
And with how fast some of these players are, with how big some of these players are, accidents are gonna happen. I
Oh,
mean, I couldn't
absolutely.
tell you how many interviews or stuff I've read about players who have went through the experience of having their necks cut
It's
by a
scary.
blade.
Scary.
I mean, I
Scary.
remember watching I think it was the 2008 Beijing Olympics
Yeah.
where Apollo got his
Yep.
necks cut by a blade.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I watched that in
Yep.
live time. So
Me too.
that was scary. So I'm all for this. They're making them look cool. It looks
Yeah.
just like a little turtleneck.
Looks pretty slick.
But
Yeah.
it's just that extra protection to cover that very important vein and artery that are up there.
Yeah.
So
No, for sure. It's a great idea. I think player protection is number one most important thing on the list. Um, but speaking of protection, get your disc protection. NHL 25 cover players. Uh, Jack, Luke, and Quinn Hughes on the cover. Jack and Luke, teammates in New Jersey. Quinn is the captain in Vancouver. First brothers to be featured on the cover, and probably the first family, I think, ever to be featured on a cover.
yeah. So probably, and depending on how the future plays out, obviously you never know. It could be the last as well. It could be the
Yeah,
only.
yeah.
So I think everybody loves the Hughes brothers. I mean, I'm a big Quinn Hughes fan. I think he's super talented.
I think Quinn
Jack's
Hughes is
super
great.
talented. Kind of a shame we didn't get to see Jack this year that much.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and obviously Luke is too. But
Yeah,
I'm a huge Quinn Hughes fan. I'm actually gonna make sure that I pick up a copy this year. I
and
haven't
grab
had an
one.
NHL game since God, I don't even know how long,
Yeah,
2006
I
maybe,
I think my last
something like
one.
that. Like,
Yeah, I think my last one was 2016 or
so to put
2015.
this into reference, my last NHL game, you know those little controllers that you could plug straight into your VCR
Yeah,
player? That's what mine
yeah.
was on.
Oh my
Mine was on
god.
that.
Jeez.
With a Madden game, and I'm pretty sure there was a 2K on there too, or something like that.
Jeez.
Yeah, so it's been a long time since I've had one.
Hey, well, you know what this means. We're gonna have to have an online league of some kind, or like online via
Yeah,
promo or whatever.
or do some scrim
Yeah,
streams or
yeah, yeah,
something like that while we talk about hockey or
yeah,
something for a special episode or something.
yeah.
Yeah, that'll be pretty cool.
That'll
So,
be fun.
um,
But yeah, Jack, Luke, Quinn, they're all young. They're all in their 20s, 24, 23, 20 respectively. All got great careers ahead of them. It's a great spot to be on the cover of NHL games. That's really cool. It's a cool thing. And I thought that was cool little news to share.
yeah, I think
Um,
it's super cool. So,
something to look forward to.
moving into basketball now, and also, but staying on
Basketball.
the young talent making history and whatnot. We're
Caitlin
back at it
Clark.
again.
Caitlin
We're
Clark.
back at
Here
it with
we
Caitlin
go,
again.
go. Here we go. She just doesn't stop. She just keeps going. 3-point record in her debut season. How do people keep writing her off? How do people keep
I don't
writing her
know.
off?
I don't understand these people who say that she's
86.
not really that great. That there's more talent elsewhere,
How
which there
like
is a lot of talent elsewhere, but
how do you keep writing her off? She's so
you
damn
can't
good.
anymore. You can't anymore.
86 3-pointer in her debut season. She just passed number one pick from 2022. I think her name is Ryan Howard. Correct me if I'm wrong on pronunciation. I'm going with Rin, who had 85 in 2022. Caitlin Clark just broke it 2 years later with her 86, and there's still more games to go.
Yeah, I mean they still have a good handful of games left. Um, I don't understand why people write her off. If she was not on that Indiana Fever team, they would be dog.
Yeah. There is no arguments for me on that one. Um,
but they're
at
actually a
all.
competitive team this season because of her.
No,
So
for sure, for sure. But with that said, Kiwi, I think this is the moment. I think it's time.
I think it is.
I think drumroll.
I've been thinking about this I mean, since we started, so almost 3 weeks, almost a month now.
3 weeks, yeah.
My selection is going to be the Phoenix Suns.
Ooh, go with the Phoenix Suns. Okay. I thought when you had said that, Phoenix is a great pick. They got a good team. They have, pretty
AD.
consistent playing. It's it's really good. Book is he's such a good player. Bradley Beal, Josh Okogie. You go down the list. It's KD. Like,
Yeah, I mean KD is there. So,
Thaddeus
I
Young.
wanted to pick I
Like,
wanted to pick a team that I knew at least one or two of the players. Obviously, I saw
right.
Book in the Olympics,
Yeah, and
and
KD.
KD.
Yeah,
I've known KD for since he came in the league. Pretty much, he's a name that you don't
right.
miss.
Right.
Um,
And people kick me in the balls if I don't say like Grayson Allen or Bull or something, but like,
right. I don't know
eh.
who those people are, but I'll get to learn them.
Yeah,
I
as
get to
you
learn
watch
them.
Phoenix Sun games this year.
Phoenix Suns games. Yeah. So yeah, that'll be cool. It was either them or it was going to be the New Orleans Pelicans.
Which
So that was my
also
other option.
wouldn't be a bad pick. But I honestly I like the Phoenix Suns. I think they're a good young team, despite some of their older guys. But you know that's good. That's a good pick. That's an interesting pick. I like that. Congratulations. Welcome to the
Thanks.
Suns fandom, I guess. Coming from a Boston Celtics fan, so take that
Right.
as you will.
Right. All right. Well, I think that's about all from us today, everybody. So I hope you guys enjoyed.
Yeah, and be sure to check us out. YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Prime products. Wherever you might watch or listen to podcasts for more. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe where applicable. We are literally everywhere. Save a few
Quite literally.
places that I've never even heard of, but I've made sure that we're literally everywhere else.
Yeah. So enjoy your weekend, guys.
Yeah, and we're done rambling, so go be free.